What happens when ambition turns into greed? This is the story of Samantha Wells, a talented cybersecurity expert who thought she could outsmart EXCorp, the high-tech powerhouse owned by none other than Elon Musk. Samantha's dream job quickly turned into a dangerous game as she set her sights on something much more valuable than just a paycheck: the sensitive user data stored on EXCorp's servers. As she skillfully bypassed security systems, her plan seemed foolproof, and the promise of millions had her blinded by greed. But there was one thing she didn't count on: every move leaves a trace. What Samantha didn't realize was that her actions were being watched by Alex, EXCorp's lead security engineer, whose sharp instincts led him to uncover her plot. The stage was set for a high-stakes confrontation where justice would prevail. If you love thrilling tales of betrayal, deception, and justice, make sure to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for more incredible stories like this one. You won't want to miss what happens next. Samantha Wells was a rising star in the world of cybersecurity. With a resume that sparkled and a reputation for excellence, she quickly became one of the most sought-after professionals in her field. Landing a job at EXCorp wasn't just a career milestone. It was like hitting the jackpot, the ultimate dream come true for anyone in tech. EXCorp, owned by the enigmatic Elon Musk, was no ordinary company. It was the heart of global online interactions, a digital fortress that hosted billions of accounts worldwide. From social media giants to financial transactions, EXCorp's influence was vast, and its servers housed sensitive information on some of the wealthiest, most powerful people on the planet. For someone like Samantha, the opportunity to work there was nothing short of exhilarating, but behind her polished resume and impressive technical skills lay a dangerous secret. Samantha wasn't just there to work. She had her eyes on something much more valuable. Beneath her calm, professional exterior was an insatiable greed, a desire to tap into the treasure trove of data that lay within EXCorp's servers. What Samantha failed to understand was that every action in the digital world leaves a trace, and her plans were about to unravel in the most unexpected way. Beneath Samantha Wells's polished professional facade, there was an ulterior motive that no one at EXCorp suspected. While her colleagues saw her as a hardworking, eager employee, Samantha was driven by something far more dangerous: greed. She didn't just see EXCorp as a career opportunity. She saw it as a gold mine, a treasure trove of sensitive user data from some of the wealthiest and most influential entrepreneurs in the world. To her, these high-profile accounts weren't just a part of her job. They were the key to unlocking a future filled with unimaginable wealth. The digital vaults of EXCorp held personal details, financial records, and private communications that could fetch millions on the black market. Samantha spent her days gathering intel, building trust with her colleagues, all while plotting her next move. She didn't care about advancing through the ranks or contributing to the company's success. The real prize was the data stored within EXCorp's encrypted servers. The longer she worked there, the more she realized how vulnerable the system could be. And it wasn't long before she began laying the groundwork for her heist. She wasn't here to work hard or make a meaningful impact. Samantha Wells was here to steal. The question wasn't if she could do it, but when she would make her move. Samantha Wells knew that to pull off her plan, she had to blend in seamlessly, and she did so with precision. During her early days at EXCorp, she played her role perfectly: friendly, approachable, and eager to learn. Her colleagues admired her for being hardworking, and she quickly gained their trust. Samantha made a point of staying late to finish tasks, always willing to go the extra mile to prove her dedication. On the surface, everything about her seemed genuine. She was the model employee, the kind of person you'd want on your team. But what they didn't see were the late nights spent alone at her workstation, where Samantha wasn't working on company tasks, but instead studying EXCorp's complex security system. While others left for the night, Samantha stayed behind, diving deep into the network's vulnerabilities, quietly mapping out the cracks in the digital fortress. Weeks passed, and with each day, Samantha grew more confident in her plan. She had learned the layout of EXCorp's security infrastructure like the back of her hand. Every firewall, every encryption algorithm, every weak point, she knew them all. She had spent hours preparing, gathering information, and waiting for the perfect moment. She knew that the system's defenses were formidable, but Samantha was methodical. She didn't rush, understanding that one wrong move could bring the whole operation crashing down. The time for caution was over, and one fateful night, as the office emptied and the silence settled in, Samantha made her move. With the precision of a seasoned hacker, she bypassed EXCorp's security barriers step by step. Each line of code she cracked, each encrypted file she unlocked, brought her closer to the treasure she had been dreaming about for weeks. Her heart raced, not just from the adrenaline, but from the feeling of control. This was it, the moment she had worked so hard for. But even as she accessed the data, a nagging sense of danger began to creep in. Samantha had gotten too comfortable, and in her pursuit of wealth, she had overlooked one crucial factor. The system was more secure than she had anticipated. Still, she pushed forward, confident that nothing would stand in her way. Little did she know, her every move was being silently monitored. Just as Samantha began downloading the sensitive files she had spent weeks preparing for, she heard a sound, a faint but unmistakable noise that made her heart skip a beat. It was the sound of footsteps approaching, growing louder with each passing second. She quickly glanced over her shoulder, her pulse racing, and there, standing in the doorway of her cubicle, was Alex. The lead security engineer at EXCorp, Alex was known for his no-nonsense attitude and sharp instincts. He had been on annual leave, but now he was back, and not just any return. He had come back early, catching her off guard when she least expected it. His sudden appearance sent chills down Samantha's spine. There was nowhere to hide, no time to cover her tracks. She could feel the weight of his gaze as he stood in the doorway, his sharp eyes scanning her workstation, taking in the surroundings with an almost predatory focus. "Working late, I see," Alex said casually, his voice calm, but his presence unshakable. Samantha forced herself to smile, pushing down the panic rising inside her. "Just running some system checks," she replied smoothly, her voice steady despite the storm brewing in her chest. She quickly minimized the suspicious windows on her screen, hoping he wouldn't notice anything out of the ordinary. Alex didn't move. He just stood there, his arms crossed, watching her intently. Samantha tried to act natural, to maintain the friendly, hard-working persona she had carefully cultivated, but the tension in the air was palpable. Alex didn't say much more, but there was something about the way he was looking at her, his eyes narrowing ever so slightly, that made Samantha uneasy. She thought she had played it cool, but deep down, she knew something was off. Alex might not have said anything outright, but she could feel the weight of his suspicion hanging in the air. As he left, Samantha breathed a sigh of relief, but her mind raced. Had he noticed something? Was he onto her? What had started as a quiet night of hacking had suddenly turned into a nerve-wracking game of cat and mouse. Unable to shake the nagging suspicion that something wasn't right, Alex decided to dig deeper. His instincts had rarely failed him, and something about the way Samantha had acted that night kept him on edge. After hours of thinking it over, he couldn't just let it go. So, he pulled up the activity logs, a routine task in his role as lead security engineer. As he scrolled through the data, his stomach tightened. What he found confirmed his worst fears. There were a series of failed login attempts to EXCorp's encrypted database, attempts that corresponded directly to Samantha's workstation. His eyes narrowed as he traced the logs further, finding that, despite the failures, There had been a successful login, one that matched Samantha's credentials. His mind raced. This wasn't a coincidence. Someone had deliberately breached the system, and it was Samantha. Alex knew he couldn't act alone, not with stakes this high. He needed backup. The next morning, Alex went straight to Karen Holmes, the department head, a seasoned cybersecurity expert who was known for her firm leadership and calm under pressure. Alex laid out the findings, detailing the suspicious activity linked to Samantha's account. Karen listened intently, her brow furrowing as she processed the information. This wasn't just a small mistake. This was a serious breach in security, and they couldn't afford to act hastily without concrete proof. Together, they devised a plan to catch Samantha in the act. They knew they had to be careful. One wrong move, and they could alert her, ruining their chances of gathering irrefutable evidence. With Karen's experience and Alex's sharp instincts, they set a trap. The plan was simple yet effective. They would monitor Samantha's actions closely, waiting for the right moment to catch her red-handed. It was risky, but they both understood that the consequences of failing to stop Samantha could be catastrophic for EXCorp. Late one night, with the office eerily quiet and most employees gone, Samantha sat at her workstation, her fingers flying across the keyboard as she prepared to complete her heist. This was the moment she had been waiting for, the final step in a plan that had taken weeks of meticulous preparation. As she began transferring the sensitive files, she felt a surge of excitement. The data was finally in her grasp, and with it, the wealth she had dreamed of. But unbeknownst to Samantha, Alex and Karen were watching her every move from a remote location. They had set up a monitoring system to track her activity, and as soon as Samantha began the transfer, Alex triggered the alarm. The instant the alert went off, the entire operation shifted into motion. The security team was notified, and within seconds, Karen and Alex were on their way to confront Samantha. The moment Samantha hit the send button and initiated the data transfer, she felt a cold shiver run down her spine. Something was wrong. She glanced around, but it was too late. The office lights flickered on, flooding the room with harsh, blinding light. Samantha froze, her heart stopping as she turned to find Alex, Karen, and two security guards standing behind her. Her face went pale as she realized what had just happened. The jig was up. She had been caught red-handed. Her every move, every click, every attempt to steal the data had been tracked, and now there was no escape. The carefully crafted illusion of her innocence evaporated in an instant, and the full weight of her crime crashed down on her. There was no denial, no way out. Samantha's greed had led her to this moment, and now the consequences were inevitable. The very next day, the news of Samantha's breach spread quickly within EXCorp. The gravity of the situation was clear, and the company couldn't afford to downplay it. In an unprecedented move, Elon Musk himself addressed the breach. Standing before a crowd of employees and reporters, he delivered a brief but firm statement, confirming that Samantha Wells had been caught attempting to steal sensitive user data from the company's servers. EXCorp takes the protection of our data and the trust of our users very seriously, Musk said, his voice resolute. Samantha Wells has been terminated with immediate effect, and legal action will be pursued to the fullest extent of the law. The room fell silent as Musk's words resonated, making it clear that such a breach would never be tolerated. The message was sent. Not only was EXCorp's security impenetrable, but anyone attempting to exploit it would face swift and unforgiving consequences. As the legal proceedings unfolded, the evidence against Samantha was overwhelming. From the activity logs to the monitoring tool that had tracked her every move, everything pointed directly to her. There was no denying the facts. Samantha, once full of ambition and dreams of unimaginable wealth, was now facing the consequences of her actions. With no room to escape, she pleaded guilty to conspiracy and attempted theft. The legal system moved quickly, and her once promising career and future dreams of riches crumbled before her eyes. As she was led away in handcuffs, the weight of her greed bore down on her. Samantha had thought she could outsmart the system, but in the end, justice was served. The digital fortress of EXCorp had held strong, and her actions had only sealed her fate. Samantha Wells' story serves as a powerful cautionary tale about the dangers of greed and deceit. At the start, she thought she could outsmart EXCorp, believing her intelligence and cunning would allow her to bypass the company's robust security measures. But in the end, her desire for wealth led her down a path of destruction. Greed may drive a person to take risks, but it also blinds them to the consequences of their actions. Samantha's fate was sealed the moment she chose to compromise her integrity for personal gain. Her story is a reminder that no matter how carefully a plan is laid, deceit always leaves a trail, and justice has a way of catching up. Thanks to Alex's sharp instincts and unwavering vigilance, EXCorp's reputation remained intact. His attention to detail, combined with Karen's leadership, ensured that the breach was detected before it could cause irreparable damage. Their actions were a testament to the importance of teamwork and integrity within a company, where everyone is responsible for maintaining trust. In the end, justice prevailed, not only for EXCorp, but for the countless individuals whose sensitive data was protected. Samantha, once a rising star, became a cautionary tale of how ambition, unchecked by ethics, can lead to ruin. Let her story serve as a reminder: the price of greed is always too high. What do you think of Samantha's downfall? Was justice truly served, or did she get what was coming to her? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. We love hearing your opinions and starting conversations about these thrilling stories. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more captivating tales like this one. Make sure to turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update. We've got plenty more exciting content coming your way. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time with another unforgettable story.